Okay, so thank you for joining the roadmap highlights of 2023. In this session, we will share with you the highlights as we also publish them in the Customer Knowledge Center. You will be able to see both Primo and Primo VE roadmap in the Knowledge Center uh, under the product material. You will be able to find what is relevant for Primo roadmap, what is relevant from Primo VE roadmap. Most of the things are shared in common. And of course, if you want to see the history of previous roadmap, we added also this archive Primo roadmap. So you are welcome to go ahead and share with them. The highlights are listed either by the category, by subject of the area of this new feature. And also you can also be familiar with the timeline, whether it's planned for the first half of 23 or the second half of 23. We want to share with regarding to the roadmap of 2022. We covered most of the items in the roadmap. There are some items that were moved to the first half of 23, and I'll mention them. And other, like the exhibition for digital materials, we take it internally to continue analyze and discuss and see the direction for that. And hopefully it will be back on the roadmap when we will have more use case and a clear direction to go. Another thing that I want to share before we are going into each one of the highlights that we want to share with you is, of course, those are the items that we are sharing, and those are highlights. There are more development that we are doing, and we will publish additional items, and those will be available in the release notes and, of course, in our quarterly webinars that we are sharing with you. Okay, so in the area of user experience and UI function, you can find an index of what is coming. So we are, and we will also share with it in a dedicated slide, most of the items here. So there are improvement to the advanced search enhancement coming from your NERS enhancement, the ability to have the starts with the call number search, enhance the call number search to include also started with operator, the ability to search, to have the barcode search. And I will share also more details on that. Enhancement from in 2021, the ability to do an exact match equals exact phrase in the advanced search, or are coming in this first half. The improved pagination as you request, allowing user to select also number of results from the top. In the Primo VE, we also are going to improve the pagination in the browse search and optimize the performance over there. We have several improvements to the My Library cards, allow users to filter find by the status, and also filling a gap from the Primo backoffice, ability to opt in and opt out from library notification. I have a dedicated slide for that to explain. More items that improving the user workflow are the ability to search in my favorites, a new widget, a new component allow users to easily filter by the resource type filter. This was in the roadmap of 2022, the search ribbon we call it, and we now tune it to be more accurate as a resource type filters. We also add an additional NERS about the user session timeout, improving this experience. I explain more in dedicated slides. And of course, we have those items that I added this icon that are still on design, therefore we can show more details. Improving the search experience with no results found. This is actually a NERS enhancement initiated to prevent some autocomplete suggestions and failure when no results are found. We would like to offer the user maybe in such cases to go into in the option to expand the search beyond the library collection, perhaps to find the title suggested by the autocomplete. We need to check based on analysis the direction to solve it. We also working with the Alma Digital team are cooperating with them to support workflow with regarding to control digital lending. This is actually when a user will be able to lend a digital copy of a physical resource, very similar like we are doing for a physical resource. We will do it also for a digital copy, track the number of copies available, allowing using to perform a request, but from the View It section, allowing user to monitor those requests and loans from the My Library card. More detail will be close to the release on that. And we are also happy to share with you that we are soon going to release the new info card dedicated for the offer. We'll talk about it. Additional item that is also under design, it was I think 2 years ago in the roadmap, and we were interviewing customers, and now we gather more requirements, and now it is back to the roadmap. It's the ability to make the authority catalogs discoverable for patrons. So it's actually we would like in a dedicated page to expose the authority catalog, so to let user search for a specific authority, and once interesting in one of the authority, see more detail on that, and also be able to link to the associated records, bibliographic records to that authority. So this is the direction, and we will show more details once we will be more close to the design. So this is in the area of the user experience, and now I will we'll go through each one of the items that I would like to highlight. Support call number. You will be able to see for the holding call number the start with operator. So far, the start was only supported for the title. We made it available also for the holding call number. This requires a change in the way we are indexing the holding call number. So with this enhancement, user will be able to search in a range of a specific to search in a range for a specific subclass classification that the call number represents. This option, the Start With option, was added not only to the advanced search, but also to the pre-filters that are available in the simple set. This was already released both for Primo and Primo VE in the February release, of course, and this is the NERS enhancement. Okay, more enhancement to the advanced search. The request coming from the NERS, the ability to locate associated records by the barcode, by the physical item barcode. So user, we added a new section, a new barcode section here, allowing a user to enter the barcode item, and once performing a search for that, we will get we expect to get only a single record associated to that barcode item and get it. This is actually relevant. This is actually scoped to the Primo Alma customer, as we are using Alma API in order to make this to make it available for you. We are not indexing the barcode on the item level, but we are actually calling an Alma API to find the match on the local catalog, on the institution local catalog, that is a match for the associated bib record that is also represented here. This is also, you can see that we are presenting under the results the display of the full record. So this is a format. Unlike the advanced search that is presenting a brief result, we are actually expecting one single record to be retrieved. We are presenting here a full record format. that was found match for the barcode that the user search. So this was regarding to the barcode search. And additional improvement to the advanced search, we are adding a new operator. We named it equal exact phrase. Today, the equals that we are introducing today, that exists today before this enhancement, was actually working as match an exact phrase, but we could have add additional string. We retrieve results that were included additional string. It was behave as a contains exact phrase. For instance, if I search for David Green offer, the exact phrase is working today could also retrieve me a result of David Green with the year that he was born. So the customer, the community in this nurse request to have to allow the match for the specific user query with no extra, with no additional, with no option, with not also remove any the ability of the search engine to add some expansion to the search, exact and only as you requested. So we are going to release that option. This option is this operator is going to be available for the title, for the offer and creator, and the subject field. So this is about to release in the next release, in the My release. We also made this option available through the hypertext linking. So if you open the full record display and you would like the offer to be the offer name link to be go to the advanced search with the equal exact phrase, you will be able to configure that to go into to use offer with the equal exact search or subject with the equal exact search base your configuration and to support that also. This enhancement, we work very hard to fulfill that, and it is scope for both the Primo VE search engine and CDI search engine. So if you are using blended scope, this will also be available while searching the CDI. And it's only available from the Primo VE, and it was a nursing enhancement initiated. Okay, another nurse enhancement, more on the area of the pagination, is allowing the usering to easily select the number of results, not only from the bottom of the page as previously released, but also from the top of the page. You can see here that we changed the format of showing the total results to see the range of the results, and the range is also calculated based on the selection of the user. Additional improvement that we did is now we are keeping the number of results selected by the user across the session. So for signed in user, we will retrieve the number of results that they prefer, that they used the last time they were logging to the discovery. So this is about improving the pagination experience. As I also mentioned in the when we review the items, we also improving the pagination in the Primo VE, also for the browse search. We would like to optimize the performance over there. This change may require also some changes to the user interface. We may remove the facets that are used while you are using the browse in order to make the call more optimized. So this regarding to improving the pagination experience in general. More improvement coming from your idea, the My Library, more improvement to the My Library card coming from the idea, where the ability of user to go ahead and view the finds not only the active files, but they will be able to view files that are already closed or in the status of the on transferred. So they will be able to select the filters here and view the relevant files. For customers that are also calculating the balance, the find balance for the transferred file, it will also show if the balance is calculating also for active and transferred files, they will be able also customer to understand that by seeing the transferred file as well. So it will be more easy. As I said, it's improving the experience of the user in the My Library card, and it is coming from the idea. Additional enhancement that is already exists in the Primo backoffice and missing in the Primo VE is the ability for user to opt in or opt out from this library notification, like the ability for user to decide that they don't want to get any messages from Alma regarding to the activity reports or any other reports that you can see here. So we also want to fill in the gap here and add this to the My Library card in Primo VE. And this is planned for the second half of 2023. More coming from the idea exchange is the ability to search in my favorites. We have added this search bar here. It's more function as we are familiar with this control find on the browser. It's act like a basic search on the saved records metadata, on a specific metadata. For instance, we will support basic search on the author names or on the label, on the title for the saved records that user saved. Of course, this is available for the signed in user that choose to use the My Favorites and save, can help them while saving a lot of saved records to easily navigate and find the specific item that is looking for. So this was added to the My Favorites. Okay, add resource type filters under the search bar. Previously in the roadmap of 22, we called it a search ribbon. And we were looking for use case while working and discussing it with the customer, how to let you the library define what is most relevant for them to help their users narrow the results for a specific filter. And talking to the customer and gathering requirements, we are now releasing it more simple, more specific. We are adding this resource type filter, as you can see here, under the search results. So library will be able to define their most commonly used resource type to show here. Use it as a main resource type. For instance, you can choose media and then images, and then user will easily filter and narrow their search result to the specific resource type that were mentioned here. We will show here, I think, up to 6, and then if there are additional, the ability is to select up to 10. There will be this more defined here. I think it's going to be also sticky, so unless you are selecting all, your next searches will also remain on that. This is actually very similar to the experience that a user having in other commercial search engines. What I also want to mention that you can use this as the main resource type, and the other resource type facet, and don't be confused on that, can be used by the user as a secondary resource type. If they want to tune more their results after selecting the main resource type. So this could be one of the option. This is going to be delivered in May, in the next release, hopefully. And we would like to hear your voice and feedback with regarding to that. Okay. Improving the user session timeout experience. So we had several feedback of how to improve and how user actually want to access and remain within the library discovery, even when session is being timed out. This is a nurse announcement, and it includes the following. It actually, we added a lot of configuration to allow you all kind of setting. In general, what this feature actually means is the ability to notify the user when before a session is going to be timed out. So I think 60 seconds before a session is going to be timed out, there will be a notification for the user with an option for the user to click and extend the session to the maximum that we can. Of course, it's limited and subject to the authentication method, the external authentication method that the library is using. So this is one improvement. And another improvement, if the session is already timed out and the user is now getting back to the tab of their library discovery, there will be a message telling them, hey, your session is now timed out. And this message will include a guide that instructs the user, if you want your future session not to be timed out, you can go ahead into the personal details and turn on the feature. So we also adding a new toggle, as you can see here, automatically extend my session and in the personal setting. So if user choose to automatically extend the session, so the next time they are logging into the system, the session will be extended to the maximum. So this is really coming in the next release, and of course it is part of the nurse and should help the user to extend their work in the library discovery system. Okay, link data offer info card. We really worked hard also with the ALMA team and the higher education platform team to make this available. And what we are seeing here is a new info card. We named it related person, as it will reflect additional information on the person. The person could be author, contributor, translator, whatever information in Wikidata URI that will be mentioned in those fields as I mentioned here. So if we have on the MARC records link data URI and we are starting with Wikidata URIs, that if this information is either exist, whereas you can manually add them using, for instance, the Alma refined cloud app, you can add this link data URI over there. Or if it's not exist and the platform choose to enrich it from the Library of Congress Authority, anyhow, no matter how this data is added to the MARC records, if the discovery system is familiar with this Wikidata URI, we will show additional information powered by Wikidata. The information that it will be shown collapsed by default, so I will be able to see the thumbnail of Jane Austen, the role of it, the born and death, and if user want to view more information, we also will add a link to Wikipedia, and user can learn more. We consider in the future to add additional information, perhaps from Wikidata. We just check. This is really, I think, this is really a matter of performance, scrolling information from also Wikidata or from Wikipedia. So in order to make this available in a good performance, we choose to have those details available on the offer. If the offer wants to have more, they can have this link outside. we will be happy to hear your voice on that as well. So this is the first step of adding um, information in the discovery based on link data and make it visualize. As we see already, customer did some example for that on the customization. Now you can have it out of the box, and please work with that, work with the link data to help us find more use cases to enrich that. Okay, so far I cover all of the information that I wanted regarding to the user experience. Now, more about the library empowerment, what tools and configuration we are providing you in order to help you maximize and expose your library resource depth to your patrons. So we will cover the NERS on enhancing resource type configuration. We are happy to share with you a new web component that we would like you to use and embed it and expose it and embed items from the library in external website. I will show you the example. This is coming from the idea, and additional configuration that are available in Primo VE. A NERS announcement about enhancing the resource type configuration, what we would like to have, this is relevant from Primo VE. We would like to allow you the option to custom not only a local resource type, but also out of the box system resource type, that means the system resource type. We will do it in a way that we will let you add rules and conditions to change the way system resource type is being determined in the system. And what we will do is you will add a new rule, a new condition, and we will give a prioritize to those condition and rules. So, and we will compile those your custom rules and conditions before compiling our system out of the box system resource type rules and condition. So we will let you determine how more flexibility to determine the resource type without overriding the system resource type rules by giving prioritization to your customization, to your rules and condition. So this is the way that we plan to do it. We will add not only a custom local resource type, also a resource type, and option for you to add the rule and condition for that. Okay, coming from the idea, we saw an idea, and we would like to assist you to increase the traffic to the library and expose relevant material also not only in the library sites, but also perhaps in the university or in the specific faculty site. So you will have the option to highlight this new component. We are going to introduce this new carousel widget. As you can see, this is one of the layout that we choose. We may also introduce additional layout of grid. So you will be able very easily to choose to configure a web component, the layout of that, and also the query to use in order to fetch items from the library. So you will be able to show, let's say, up to 20 items from the library. If an user interested with more, they can go ahead and link to the library discovery with the specific query that you have defined to see additional library. We will provide you with this web component code and easy configuration as a setup, so you can go ahead and very easily embed that on our faculty sites. Of course, this can be done as today, but we wanted to allow you to do that very easily with no extra development power, allow you to meet your patrons where they might be on other side, and of course expose the special material from the library. Okay, and also we'll shortly highlight additional configuration that we are going to work on the Primo VE in the area and the dedupe and the Ferber. We would like you to also have the flexibility to include keys based also on local fields, while we have this matching process and key combination in the dedupe and Ferber. So far we are using today out of the box keys and that are taken from a specific map site, and we give you the flexibility to custom this combination. Now we also give you the ability to define a key based on local fields. Another enhancement support the relevant sorting within the Ferber group. So this will also give you an option to make relevance more relevant option, more option while you are viewing the list of version in a Ferber group. It's today sorted not necessarily matched to the way that you were query. So if I'm searching for in French for an item that there are other item associated to it, like in English and other languages, not necessarily that I will see the French item while viewing the list of version appear at the top. Once adding this relevant sorting, we will make this more available, more relevant to the way you query. So this is one enhancement. Additional one is loading, when loading external sources, we will work and on design to help you define additional available status for external data that is loading through the discovery import profile. And there is this top idea, the display item policy in the get it, that we also want to implement. We would like to give you a configuration to add to the brief item display, also to let you add the item policy. As discussing with customer, we understand that some institutions are using the item level, the definition of the item policy on the item level as a persist attribute. It doesn't have to be calculated based on whether user is signed in or a specific user rule. So no matter what fulfillment rules you are having, if you choose to have this configuration of showing the item policy no matter what, we will make it available for you. So this is also something that we will work on. More on the area of your special collection. Coming from the idea, we would like to open the collection discovery to include additional external resources. So we hear your need when there is a collection curator that include items to the collection from your local ALMA repository. Sometimes a collection curator would like to add also a few records from coming relevant to that collection from CDI, or perhaps from external data source that is being loaded into the discovery and it's not managed in the ALMA. Therefore, we would like to introduce a new way to help this collection curator while gathering items for the collection to also include resources that are available through the discovery system and not necessarily managed in ALMA. So we are still working on the design and the concept how to make it available, but we would like you to know that yeah, we do find it relevant, and we would like to work on helping you in reaching the collection discovery for external resources, CDI or other one loaded. And also with the area of the collection, in the area of the Primo analytics, as you requested, you would like to better track and better monitor the usage per collection. So we are going to enhance the Primo analytics to reflect also this dynamic information about the collection that are the collections that are mostly viewed, or use the pinned item for that, or search, or any item that the user can click within the collection page. We would like to count it and help you know how and each collection is being used by the patrons. And now I will switch to Christine to share with you what is coming in the area of the CDI.
Thanks, Neely. Yeah, I apologize about my voice. I'm a little bit, I have a cold, so it's, I hope it's fine. Can you hear me, Neely? Can you just
Yes,
confirm?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So the rights processing is the first thing on my list. I think you saw that we reduced this over the past year quite significantly. It's on 30 hours average. Just to explain what it means that you're activating something on ALMA or SFX, and it's being transferred to CDI, it's being processed in CDI, and at the end of the process, the user sees your activation or deactivation, of course. So it's really the time from when you do your activations, your management of your resources in ALMA SFX, when it comes really to the user on the Primo interface. So again, this is currently at a 30 hours average. We want to reduce this further, removing everybody to a new process, and that project is planned to be concluded by the end of this year. Hopefully it's then close to 24 hours average, but I'm a little bit careful here because we're still looking at how this works out, but we're definitely going to be under 30 hours average once we've concluded this project. In terms of data quality, you probably heard that we're working on a data excellence program. The data excellence program has a lot of different facets or tasks. A lot of it is about the KB, but some of it is also about CDI data quality. There are a few things that we are doing, which we're working on right now. One is improving the consistency of the language in publication date fields, which is also going to influence specifically the publication date field, which is also going to influence the accuracy of linking and the accuracy of the facets. We're also going to work on identifying book reviews better. At the moment, you sometimes find them labeled as book reviews, but some of them are also still labeled as articles because it's quite hard to see when the data is coming in from the different data sources, what is a book review and what is an article. But we're working on a process to identify them better and then label more of the book reviews correctly. We're also going to improve open access handling. At the moment, you can use unpaywall via the API. You pull in the information when the result list is displayed. This means that the user, that you can't really filter by availability for unpaywall, and it's also not shown in the facets. We want to change this, so we're going to index unpaywall as a collection that you can activate on your ALMA or SFX, and then that's gonna show on Primo, and you can use it also in the availability filter, and you can use it for faceting. So these are the projects that are shorter term. We also have some bigger, longer term data projects. These are quite difficult also with analysis. So I'm a little bit careful here not to commit definitely for this year. We're trying to have this also as a benefit to the users this year. We're definitely going to work on it. And I expect actually that we are able to release at least some of this year, so you actually see it. But these are bigger projects, and we also have a dependency on the data sources. So this is also why it's a little bit more difficult to really commit to a release date. The first one is addition of secondary resource types for CDI. This is really to add some more attributes to resource types that can be used for filtering and also for flagging items on the result list. The one that is most important, I think also to you, that is at least the feedback that we had, is retractions. To be able to flag them on the UI better and also use that as an additional filter. Other secondary resource types is, for example, a review article that was also flagged by you as something that you think is important to the user. They want to be able to identify review articles better because these give usually a literature review or a review of an entire research area and can really serve as an entry point to research. So these are the two that we're going to prioritize here, the secondary resource types, and then we also rely a little bit on your feedback. We're going to discuss this anyway with some of you in the community to see that we go on the right track here. But you know, your feedback here is really welcome. And if you want to add other resource types, other secondary resource types to CDI, then please contact us. The second one is about author names. We want to normalize author names across the index. Author names come in all shapes and variations. I'm sure you are aware of you know how this works. We have different data sources. Some of them have IDs, some of them don't have IDs, and there are also different IDs in use. So in the ideal situation, we want to have an author index, which also indexes the affiliation of the user. We know that we are not going to be able to do this across the entire index, but we'll start doing this with at least ORCIDs. So ORCID is, as you know, a database with unique identifiers and the author name. So this is the first enrichment we are going to do this year. We're also looking at other IDs. We are also going to use the researcher ID, for example, from Web of Science, but in future also other IDs. Again, the goal here is to have unique author names, being able to uniquely identify authors, and then also offer accordingly better search functionality, and maybe also other functions on the UI to the user. Then another of the bigger data projects is to separate keywords and normalized subjects, basically subject headings that come from ontologies or from controlled vocabularies. At the moment, we have one subject field in CDI. Anything, keywords, subjects, etc., is being put into that field. So we're going to separate this. So you have a keyword field, which continues to have all the things that we cannot map to subject headings. And then we're going to create one subject field, which is also going to be used by the facets. And that contains everything that we can map against vocabularies. So currently we're planning to use LCCH and also Mesh. So these are the first two, but they really have only partial coverage. So we're going to add, or we're planning to look at also the ProQuest thesaurus. We did some testing with that and that looks really good. So we're probably going to add this as well. Again, this is something that is still in testing, still in analysis, so I can't really commit to a timeline for this. And to more specifics than I just said, but these are the projects that we're working on, and you can expect that you can see at least some of this year, and some of this maybe then earlier next year. Okay, so this is about data. Nili, can you go to the next slide? Then we're also always working on search and ranking, of course. We have one known item search enhancement, which is coming soon. We have a lot of users who do known item searches in the sense that they are copying and pasting citations from other websites into the result list. We can see this in our search logs. And I also had this as feedback from some of you that this is important to you. They basically come to the library for fulfillment, for something that they found elsewhere. The search engine can be confused by this because these searches contain a lot of things like volume, issue, etc. in different formats, which is not necessarily what the search engine would know. So we did a lot of improvement over the last year. So to a high percentage, we can match citations, but we wanted to increase that. And now we're working with implementing an open source tool, which is based on machine learning. And that is going to increase the match rate even to an even higher rate than we have today. So this is in the works at the moment. We already did the technical part, but now we are starting testing, and depending on the testing, we're going to release this in about March, April. Let's say April, because I'm always a little bit careful to say, you know, because we really need to finish the testing, make sure that it has the right quality, and then we release it. So this is about when we're going to release it, and of course we're going to document it. We're going to support Melingo and CDI. That's currently supported for local resources, but not for CDI. That's for the Hebrew search plugin. Yeah, and then I also put the ongoing enhancements here. Obviously, this presentation is really about the highlights, but we also do a lot of ongoing enhancements for search and ranking. I just wanted to remind you, some of you open support cases. We have a team which is regularly reviewing all the support cases and feedback that we get about search and ranking, and see what we need to enhance or what needs to be changed to support gaps better, or to support also new content better that the content team is adding to the system. So this is a constant review and enhancement process, which we don't necessarily publicize everywhere because that would be too much. Okay, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Christine. Yeah. So I think that we mostly conclude the things that we wanted to share, the highlights. Of course, I also want to emphasize that in the area of the Primo Analytic, there is an ongoing enhancement there as we are releasing new features and also analyzing your cases. In the accessibility, there is also an ongoing, or we also would like to share that coming soon we will publish a new VPAT as we conducted in the last early this year a new audit, and we will release the roadmap of the accessibility for 2023 and also an update document based on the November 22 release. As I mentioned, yeah, there are additional items that will come, and not only these highlights. Before we are moving into your question, we would like to make you aware of the next conference, the Luna, the Igloo, and of course, the next quarterly with the What's New that is scheduled to April 20, so you can register and enjoy. And I think that now it's a good time to go ahead and ask questions.
Okay, we do have a few questions that have come in, so just give me a second here. First question is, how will the accruing files be shown to the customer on the fines fee screen? There is an idea exchange ticket on this feature too. The similar idea exchange ticket is accepted for Alma already, and it would be logical to show the same information to the patron too.
So I'm not sure that I understand it. So there is, we saw idea that is coming for, let me look at my library card. We did see idea coming to filter the fines from Primo. If there is additional one from the, if there is additional one from for Alma, please do send us so we can see that we are aligned here. There is going to be an active fines, a transfer fine, and closed fine, as you can see here, and we are reflecting actually all what is Alma is returning to us. I'm not sure that I followed exactly details on the question. Please, you're welcome to send me the idea from the Alma one to that mail. Oops.
Okay. Next question is, what is the maximum to extend a session?
The maximum, I think, is perhaps 7 days, or it's also subject. Oops, I'm sorry. I can't share my screen. I will share again. Sorry. So the maximum is, I believe, is set to 6 or 7 days, and it is subject to the also to the way you configure your external authentication. So we can set 7, but if your external authentication will sign down before, it will go before. So yeah, it's a tricky one, this enhancement.
Okay, next question is, when you said you would like to hear our voice opinions on future features, which channel would you like us to use? The idea exchange, a Salesforce ticket, Primo mailing list, or something else?
First, we read your comments on the idea. It's helpful while you are having, you can also share it with the Primo working group or also email us. But I would like you to know that while looking at an idea, we review your comments and attempt to see. And sometimes we are also approaching customers that are really active over there and asking them for question and clarification over there. If you want to work with us on a feature, you are welcome to email us and we can work on design. If you have, for instance, I welcome it on the link data. We added this on for info card. There is a link data specific working group. You can join there and also raise your ideas for enhancing to external sources, to further info cards in the future that we would like to add. So yeah, we do appreciate your feedback and input, and it helps us tune more the features.
Okay, I got a couple of questions on the carousel. First one is the carousel scope to IZ or library?
The carousel will be scoped to a specific query that you will get. If you, as I'm imagining it, you will be able to give, you will be able to give some kind of query or some search criteria. So if your scope is for a specific IZ or a local institution, or if your scope will be to query it across a network, we will do that. It's like we are imitating the search REST API, but not letting you develop it. Go ahead and implement the search API and parse the response and the Primo records and the PMNICs. We are doing that work for you, and you will be able to define the search criteria that it's relevant. You will be able to define, I believe, facet for a new arrival for new date. So you will be able to have these new books. You will be able to facet for books and in the last month or something like that. And we'll be able to see the carousel over there. So we will do the hard work of parsing this step and let you define the search criteria.
Next question is, any plans on having some automation in the coming carousel feature? For example, automatically show 3 of the latest collections added to the collection discovery without us manually adding and showcasing them on the carousel?
So in that case, you would use the carousel within the Primo and not in other sites. Correct me if you want. If this, anyhow, the filtering will be display, and the filtering will work for new items added to the collections or something like that by date. I think it's more specific the scenarios that you are saying, because perhaps you would like to show on the top of the recent items, and it's not target. This new carousel is not actually target to show within the collection page, but but in other sites, and you will be able to use this new date facet and the collection page name, for instance, as a query.
Okay, next question is, what was the first secondary resource type mentioned? I picked up a review article, but I missed the first one.
It's for you,
I
Christine.
think that was for that was for CDI. The first one was retraction.
Okay. Next question is, are there any plans to move away from Angular JS that is out of support since January 2022?
Yes, we do. We do have a thought to go ahead, as we already announced and published in CKC. We will move away, but it will be also with additional value. So in our lab, what we are working on direction how to deliver next experience to Primo, and this will include adopting modern technology as well.
Okay. Next question is, email us regarding features. Which address specifically?
Email us features.
Yeah.
Let's
So
give us
quote,
feedback.
email us. Which I think it's which address is it specifically going to?
Is this refer to the reporter problem? I think it's a feature that we released last year, and it will be to the address that you choose to configure in your admin interface. You can specify even per category to email for specific.
Really, I think the question, if I read the question correctly, it's about, because you said that customers can email us directly about suggestions for feature.
Okay,
I think
okay.
that was the. I think that was.
Yeah, I put my email here, and I also you can email us. You can you can also, regarding to CDI related, you can email Christine. You can email me.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and you can also pass your questions to the working group, which we have monthly and intensive relations going over features and mockup. It's also a channel that you can use.
Thank you, Christine. Next question is, where did those resource types come from?
resource types. You're talking probably on the enhance of the resource type.
No,
From-
Neely, that was actually, I think the question came when you showed the slide where you had the facets on top of the result list plus the facets on the right hand side.
Yeah. Thank you, Christine. You're the best. Yeah, we're talking about the resource type filter. You will be able to select among other your the system out of the box resource type or specifically your local resource type. So you will have a drop down of all the resource type you're familiar with, our system resource type or custom resource type, local resource type that you define, and then you can go ahead and have them selected over there. Select up to 10 from that list, yeah.
Okay, follow-up question to that question is, are they from bib records?
Yeah, the one that you are normalized and custom on your, after being normalized on your bib records, based on the one that were already determined, and I think that are part of our indexing, search engine indexing. After
I would add this is also for CDI records. So if you filter by image,
right,
then it will be image what you normalized your local data and CDI images.
Good point. Thank you, Israel.
Okay, we have just a few more questions, and I think we can get through them quickly. First one is, how will the accruing fines be shown to the customer on the fines fee screen? Hold on for a sec. I already asked that question. It was duplicated in both. It was duplicated both in the chat and the Q&A. My apologies. The next question is the collection discovery number 7186 near submission is for Primo and Primo VE. So why was the slide stating only Primo VE?
Maybe the enhancement, the usage collection for the collection discovery, it's meant only for the enriched collection from external resources for Primo V. Usage per collection will be both for Primo and Primo back office. I will fix it before we publish this. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The next one is why are item policy authorities catalog and author info card enhancements not including Primo customers? The answer of higher education platform is not sufficient, as it often does not seem to match with how a feature could be added to Primo.
We are not, as we, there are many reasons for currently having that only in the display item policy. First, we wanted to have it as compiling fulfillment rules, and then the code was based on the ALMA sites, and this may affect both Primo and Primo backoffice. As the direction went into have it as adding configuration, as in a configuration to be able to display it on the brief item. Such an enhancement we are doing in Primo VE, as we are controlling the configuration. It's our development resources that are performing that, and this is the way we are going. So it's on our control to reflect and add that. So this is the reason it is currently target to be Primo VE.
Okay, we have one last question, and then you can make some concluding remarks so we can wrap this up since it's at the top of the hour. Last question is, can you expand on the timeline on when you'll move to the new framework other than AngularJS?
No, it is too early. It is too early currently to announce.
Okay, if you want to make some concluding remarks, that would be great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for sharing your questions. We are happy to share with you the highlights and to work with you collaboratively on the next roadmap, even for 2024. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Nelly. Thank you very much to Israel. Thank you very much, Christine. You guys have a great day.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.